this is huge. Tony Stewart, owner of Stewart House Racing, will run full-time top fuel, a full-time NHRA top fuel season. Here's what Tony had to say on X. When your wife wants you to try to start a family and wants you to drive her car, what are you going to say? I'm proud of Leah Pruett and excited we're going to focus on starting a family in 2024. I'm humbled and Leah and Neil Strasburg, I don't know the guy's last name, I apologize. I felt I was the driver to fill in for her. So Tony Stewart is going top field drag racing. It looks like he's going to be taking over his wife's car, Leah Pruett, who's a full-time, very good NHRA driver. As it looks like that both of them have made a decision that they want to start a family. So she will step away from racing to focus more on that. This is interesting. This is a big deal. Tony has really focused a lot on this drag racing team, right? He has the NASCAR drag racing team, Eldora ownership, sprint car team. There's a lot of things that Tony owns, but I feel like right now a lot of his intentions on his racing career in drag racing, which is really, really cool. Like, I'm a big fan of Tony Stewart. I love what he does because he's really big in motorsport. He's driven like everything, dude. And now, ever since he was married and met Leah Pruett, she's a drag racer, so they kind of form together and start Tony Stewart Racing. They also have Matt Hagen in there. I want to read some comments of what Tony Stewart had to say about this whole opportunity, his goals. His goals. My goal is not to suck. The 52-year-old Stewart said, my goal is not to get fired by my wife and not kill myself driving this thing. I think we'll be fine. It's just going to be a matter of time. Every time we jumped into a different type of race car and different form of motorsports, there's always a learning curve, and this is no different. This has probably been one of the hardest things I've ever had to learn to drive. He talks about not wanting to suck and be embarrassment, making a fun joke about how he might have to get fired by his wife if he doesn't, do well. It's gonna be hard. The drag racing, is a lot of it has to do with the tuning and the team and tuning the car well. But then also as a driver, you can lose a race by not being on your game. But if you do your job, sometimes you just get out tuned or your engine ain't running as well, so another team is just running way better than you are. But you can definitely be a reason for you to lose a race. But no, really cool. Another thing you wanted to say is this is definitely one of the biggest jumps I ever had made in my driving career, but at least I have a little bit of idea of what to expect and what's going on. The family side of it, I'm still learning how to try to be an average husband at best at this point and trying to learn how to be a father at the same time. It's just another challenge. But that's what our life's all about. It's always about unique and new challenges and how to accomplish our goals. So he just talks about the balance he's going to have to do. He's going to take a massive, jump in his racing career, but he's also going to have to try to be a great husband and great father as they go into trying to, start a family. And this is a big deal for Tony Stewart. I mean, multitasking. I'm really happy for Tony Stewart. I don't know the guy, and the guy doesn't know me. I'm just a guy that likes to talk about NASCAR. But I'm happy that I think he once said he was never going to get married, and I think once said he was never going to have kids or a family, right? But now he's able to make those decisions. It's really cool. It's really cool for Tony Stewart. I'm happy for him that he's going to be able to do this, and he still gets to race, and he gets to race in top field. Like, I'm excited. I watch drag racing once in a while. I live about 45 minutes from Maple Grove Raceway. It's a racetrack in Pennsylvania. And that's I live in Pennsylvania. I probably just gave away my location. Oh no. That was actually a terrible joke. But yeah, it's great for Tony. When it comes to Tony Stewart's commitment, to his commitments to other things, because there's all this speculation that Tony doesn't, his commitment to other things aren't as, high as priority as what drag racing is. His comments: we didn't get where we are with our sprint car team, with our racetrack, with our series, with NASCAR planning, without having good people, and that's what it takes. It doesn't take me to make it all work. It takes me surrounding myself with good people that makes this work. That part of the equation isn't changing. What I'm going to be doing with my time is going to be a fraction different, but really not much different than what it was this current year. So he's saying how much hasn't changed. How it has to. It's not just him that is the one making the changes. You have to hire the correct people to do it. And I agree with that. But I do feel like if he was at the shop more and he was if he was shooting the shots, making the calls around the shop, I think he could improve things. Because this Stewart Haas Racing has been terrible. They've been terrible, man. But they still were able to have a decent year in the overall NASCAR with Cole Custer winning a championship, which was huge for Stewart Haas ever since how bad the Cup team has been. But really, interesting thoughts, and I agree. You need good people. It's not just Tony Stewart. And it's not going to just be Tony Stewart ain't going to be the one fixing the cars and putting the wheels on the thing, changing the oil, tuning the engine. So there's a lot of things that other people have to do besides just Tony. But makes sense. He wants to focus on this race team. Who doesn't want to live their life with their best friend, their wife, right? The person they love most in this world. And he gets to do that, and I'm happy for him that he gets to go and start a family and gets to go race Top Field Drag Racing.